Happy International Workers' Day, everybody. It is May 1st, the Workers' Day, probably the most important day of the year for the entire world in terms of workers, which of course the bourgeoisie would rather have us forget about. So here's to all of the accomplishments that worker struggles have made all throughout history, improving the lives and the livelihoods of all workers across the world. Now, with that celebration out of the way, I did want to talk about something more with regards to myself. As some of you may know, yesterday, the day before, I put out a poll on Twitter and one on Facebook saying that I wanted to change the format of this show. Essentially, my main problem is that a daily grind of one video every day for 12 and a half years has really taken its toll, and it's becoming difficult for me to do while balancing a job at the same time. So what I want to do is do less videos with higher quality. Now, this is generally the way other Marxist YouTubers and YouTubers in general actually operate. There aren't many people who put out a single video every day for a decade and a quarter, because not a lot of people have been willing to show that kind of commitment to pushing that hard. And that does take its toll. Eventually, what's happened is it's become a case where I just mechanically do the same thing day after day after day, and you know, the spark isn't there anymore because it's too much of a grind. You know, they say do what you love for a living, you'll never work a day in your life. That's certainly said by someone who's never had their labor exploited, or someone who's had to work a daily grind. Now, that might work for some self-employed people, but for those of us on the margins who are just trying to get by, that's really not true. In fact, you can almost end up, you know, resenting the very thing it is that you love, which is maybe the situation I'm coming into if I don't make a change. I may end up resenting this and then end up going from not being all that enthusiastic about it anymore to hating it and not even wanting to do it anymore. So I think I need to slow down, and I think this may actually be related to my age, because as some of you may know, in September I'm going to be 40 years old. And I gotta say, in the last 2 years or so, I'm really starting to feel that now. I'm really starting to feel my age. Like, I don't have the energy that I used to have, etc. And doing something that usually takes an entire team of people to do by yourself, while trying to balance a job at the same time, becomes stressful and uses up a lot of energy. So the poll I put out: do you want less videos with higher quality, or for things to remain the same? And the majority, about 68 or 67%, depending on whether you went from Twitter or Facebook. So they were actually very, very close together in a somewhat of a majority consensus to have less videos of higher quality. So this is what I want to do. I want to do 3 videos a week. But those videos will be of a much higher production, will be of a higher production value. They will contain more information, and they will be more in depth. I could sit here every day and tell you things that frankly you already know, or giving you a perspective that frankly is already on your mind anyway, in about 3 or 4 minutes, and then that's it, when frankly you haven't really gleaned anything from the situation at all. And many people might remember my videos from way back that went into more depth, went into more theory and more detail, and people like those videos. So that's something that I want to do, and I have to start admitting that I'm not a young man anymore, and that even I have some kind of physical limitation at some point or another. So that's really what I want to do and where I want to go with this. So to those of you who really still would want me to do a video every day, I will say I'm sorry. I can't keep up that grind anymore. I mean, I'm surprised I even made it 12 years. I never thought that this would happen. I didn't even necessarily start on a video every day, but that happened after only a few months of being on the air. So to those of you who were not in favor of the change, I really do hope that you manage to stay around and manage to keep up your Patreon donations. And I do want to say that I'm sorry that I can't keep up with the grind anymore. It's just too exhausting on top of having another job. If I didn't have a job, if I didn't have to work another job in addition to this, then things would be okay. I would be a lot better off, but that's not the situation that I find myself in. So starting tomorrow is going to be the new format, the new way that I'm going to do videos. And I'm going to start by talking about the Uyghur situation in China. Now, I plan to go greatly in depth and go deep into the sources for a lot of these allegations and a lot of the situation that's going on the ground right now in Xinjiang. So look forward to that tomorrow. I will actually be recording that video today, and then I'll have X number of hours to be able to edit it, and you'll be noticing a increase in production value, as you can probably already tell already. So for all of you who have been watching all this time, thank you for watching. Please continue to rate, comment, subscribe, and share on various social media. And if you want to help me out in doing this work, then please head over to my Patreon page and set up a small monthly donation, like $1 or $2 or $5, pocket change. Every little bit helps. So, thank you for watching. Thank you for watching. If you like this program, then please head over to my Patreon page and set up a monthly donation. It's your donations that keep this program running. Also, if you would like, please rate, comment, subscribe, and share in various social media.